And in that dream, I hold on to that so much because when that time comes, that has to anchor me. Because I don't think any mother would be so quick to say, go ahead, just go to that war-torn country.
Yes.
I would pray that you choose a different career.
That's right.
You know, so even through that, God starts to prepare you for things that would be hard yeses in your future. Dreams have been a constant for me and God. There was so much training ground that he's used with dreams. I've had dreams where I've met the Lord. I've had dreams where things have been explained to me. I've had dreams with my life. I've had all kinds of dreams that I'm aware that I'm in a dream and I'm being taught in a dream. I've had dreams that the Lord would tell me what he wants me to teach, you know, on the service. And he would teach me the word in the dream, and I would wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, let me go back to that scripture. So what I've learned about dreams is that it is holy ground. But similar to Moses, when Moses encountered God in the burning bush, there was an awakening that where you're standing is holy ground, take off your shoes. It had to come to him that you might think this is just a regular place, but this is holy ground. And when we begin to understand that dreams are holy ground, we approach it differently. We approach going to bed differently. And I think that dreams are so critical to the life of every believer because similar, you know, the Apostle Paul, we would talk about prophecy, right? The Apostle Paul says that above all, desire that you should prophesy.
Amen.
But when you think about the natural life, you know, researchers will tell you that the average person sleeps for 26 years of their life.
Wow.
26 years of your life, you're sleeping. God is so into us that he doesn't want that to be wasted space.
That's good.
That while you're sleeping, that I can download revelation, prophetic direction, and insight about your life. And so even when we look at Moses again, you know, when the Lord will say things like, if there is a prophet among you, I will speak to them through dreams and visions. But Moses, my servant, I speak to face. We ignore what God just said. If there is a prophet among you, that I release prophecy through dreams and visions. So there was a huge part that he was trying to highlight right there. And so with dreams, it's powerful, but we have to engage it properly. And how do we do that? It's practical, right? When you're going to bed, have a moment to, even in your prayer, Lord, as I'm going to bed, speak to me about my day. Because one of the things I learned in Genesis, the night started the day. When it would say that and a new day was created, it would say there was evening and there was day. So the nighttime starts your day. So when you're dreaming, when you're in your sleep state, you go to bed and you have an expectation that God, as I go to bed, I know I was just watching something on television, but don't let that influence this space. Lord, I'm giving you my dream. I'm surrendering that to you. And expectation looks like works. It means that you may have a journal by your bedside. It means that when you wake up, you're not quick to be distracted and let what you received in your spirit leave you, but you're quick to seek the face of God. And all of a sudden, that's why randomly throughout the day, we're like, oh my gosh, I had a dream that you had hours ago, but something was able to awaken you to like, oh my, and this dream was so critical for my life.
Yeah.
So fascinating.
That's so good. I feel like in my walk with the Lord, I've not had dreams or visions. That wasn't something I was at least aware of. And so in this last season, I've just been so desperately seeking him. I'm like, Lord, I know that dreams are biblical and visions are biblical. So I asked him, I was like, give me a dream or a vision. Well, right around the time that I was making this hard decision last fall, like we were talking about, I had a vision. So I was awake, but it was like I was awake and I was conscious, but it was like it appeared before me. And I was walking through this tunnel, and the tunnel was really closed in and really dark and just kind of scary. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't see your right or your left or what was around. But it wasn't super long. It was kind of like medium length. And Jesus was with me. I was not alone. He was walking with me. And as we got through the tunnel, which was scary and unknown, and I couldn't really see much, it just opens up and it's bright white. And you could just see forever. And the thing that I felt like the Lord was affirming in me at that moment was, you know, there's been a pattern where, especially years ago, where the Lord would ask me to do something and I would obey, and I would expect that I was going to get a standing ovation for my obedience. I was going to get an applause, maybe a parade in my honor, matching t-shirts, like, well done, Christy, you obeyed. No, typically the obedience leads me right into the wilderness. And I'm like, what? But aren't you proud of me? Like, don't I get a pat on the back? You almost start to doubt, because when he leads you into the wilderness, because he's doing something in you, preparation, and this is, again, is biblical, it can make you doubt, did I make the wrong decision? Because it got hard. You obeyed and it got hard. And I just felt like that vision from the Lord was, yes, You remember that it's gotten hard before when you obeyed, and it will get hard again, but don't let that make you doubt. You are not alone. And just because you can't see doesn't mean I don't know where we're going. And so I think a lot of times God can give us visions or dreams, like you said, to reveal something, but also to just confirm something.
Yeah.
You could ask, say, Lord, give me a dream to confirm this. I'm sensing this, but I'm not sure. Would you give me a dream to confirm this? And I love how you said that about how much we sleep like that. That's an opportunity for him to speak to us and download things to us that, you know, he doesn't want to waste that time. It's such a good perspective.
Yeah, and I love what you said about dreams, you know, sometimes leading you into a season of adversity or difficulty. We see that with Joseph. Yes. He gets these unbelievable dreams about his future and his destiny, and he starts talking, and it lands him in a pit and in a prison. I mean, talk about delay. We talked about delay and waiting. Right. I mean, he's your man. Yeah. But then we see the fulfillment of the dream. Right. And I've had that in my own life where God gave me a dream. He gave me a dream about one of our children. Before I was even pregnant with our second child, I had a dream, and I really believed. I heard God say, you're going to have a son, and you're to name him Noah Luca, but he'll be known as Luca, a bringer of light. I look up Luca, it means a bringer of light. I'm not pregnant. I'm like, Matt, we need to have a chat. I fall pregnant. I end up early delivery, and my son is whisked away. It's a terribly scary situation. Matt's like, look out of the window. Massive rainbow. And I'm thanking God, no matter what's happening right now, God spoke to me before he was born. Right. This is a season of adversity right now. I don't know what's happening, but there's a rainbow. God's saying, I spoke to you about his name. I spoke to you about his life. Trust me for the promise. And I have so many times literally just said his name. I just say, Noah Luca, Noah Luca. It's like, why are you using my whole name? Yeah. I'm like, I'm actually prophesying. I'm prophesying from before you were even a thing. That's right. And I've also had a vision only one time in my life. I don't know if you've ever had a vision where you were just speaking about that, and that's different, and these are all in the prophecy family, right? Yeah. But I was awake and I was in a prayer meeting and I had a vision. I was about 19 years old, and I saw someone come towards me who now I can tell you was my husband. And in the dream, he's coming towards me and he's doing this, he's doing bodybuilding. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know if this is the Lord. And he's coming towards me, and I just hear the Lord say in this vision, he's coming to get you, to take you to do bodybuilding. Well, I write down, what? Matt Redman appeared to me in a vision. He's going to take me to do bodybuilding. You know, didn't even know him at that time. Later on, I end up in his band. He says, there's a job going, we'd like to interview you. He says, we would like you to lead our discipleship training course called Bodybuilders. Wow. This was years later. Wow. Now, if I'd have gone around like Joseph saying, oh my gosh, I have this vision, Matt Redman, bodybuilder. I mean, I would have sounded, he would have never spoken to me.
Yes, he would have been like,
but
no.
Just held it in my heart, and I ended up leading this discipleship program called Bodybuilders. God blew my mind. Prophecy ends up exalting, magnifying, glorifying Jesus. And I was so grateful. In both cases, it was confirmation, encouragement, comfort.
Yeah, that's so good.
You know, I love that Joseph didn't get free till he actually interpreted somebody else's dream.
Yes.
You know, and he declared the faithfulness of God when he had yet to see it.
Yes.
And I think that's something that for all of us, like if we really believe that there's a promise on the other side, we can actually declare him promiser to other people. I know for me, I had a very vivid, I would almost say a night vision. It was a dream. I was large, pregnant with my fourth child, just surviving, just, you know, wanting all my children to go to bed and be quiet. My husband is traveling and speaking, and I'm editing his book from 10 o'clock at night till 2 a.m. in the morning called The Bait of Satan. And I'm staying up typing, you know, I'm just need my kids to go to bed so I can edit a book and get it out. And I go to sleep exhausted, and I find myself awake, standing in front of a platform of stone with a lioness laying on her side, and behind it was just this magnificent colors. I don't even know how to describe all of them. On the front of the platform was the word numbers, and then the Roman numerals XX3. And I'm looking at this magnificent lioness, and even though she hadn't moved, I realized that she was more alive than me. And as I looked at her, I felt like something inside of me enlarged. And when I felt like I couldn't take any more in, I heard a voice say, with the birth of this son, you will awaken a lioness. And everybody had said I was having a girl. We hadn't had a sonogram yet. And I came fully awake, immersed in the presence of God, reached over, picked up my Bible, opened it up to Numbers 23, and verse 24, it says, these people rise like a lioness. They rouse themselves like a lion. And I'm like, what in the world? But that's what happened. There was a fierce awakening in my life. That's right. When I gave birth to Arden. His name, Arden Christopher, means fiery, determined, anointed one. And I've just watched how God's faithfulness, when he woke me up, it gave me the power to actually share that and see other women have a fierce wake up. And so I believe that whenever God gives us a dream, just like when he gives us a word, it's always to serve and build up others, not just to build up ourselves.
So good. And it prepares you. You know, when you talk about dreams with pregnancy and even the lioness, it reminds me of a particular dream that I had when God was showing me a daughter I have not had yet. And he was talking to me about ministry, and it was that she would not be in ministry, but she would be in ministry in a different way. And he showed me how she would be someone who would be captivated by journalism, but journalism in like war-torn countries. I said, oh my gosh, no.
No, thank you. New
I said,
dream,
why?
please. Yeah.
Wow.
And then he tells me her name. Her name would be Ariel.
Oh,
And
you
she
know
would
that
listen
means
to,
lioness.
yes, Lion of God.
Yes.
And I said, of course that's her name.
It would need to be that.
Because she would need to be a lion. She would need to be fierce for what he's already revealing to me about her. And in that dream, I hold on to that so much because when that time comes, that has to anchor me. Because I don't think any mother would be so quick to say, go ahead. Just go to that war-torn country.
Yes.
I would pray that you choose a different career.
That's right.
You know, so even through that, God starts to prepare you for things that would be hard yeses in your future.
I love that.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload.
And don't forget to check out our Better Together shop. Thanks for being a part of our community.